everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Tina at Tina Stitches. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch, a little bit of life, all that stuff, but we call it Flosstube and we talk about cross stitch a lot. Welcome to anybody who's new, anybody who's coming back. Thank you for returning again and again. I really appreciate it. I know I don't say that nearly enough, so I just thought better say it, get it out there. It's been a while since my last video. Been pretty busy. Nothing newsworthy really going on. But you can see behind me there is a kitchen. It is mostly done. There are a couple of things that still need to be done and not really in the budget to do immediately, so they will wait. The floor, for instance. But it is what it is. The biggest part of the renovation is done. So happy to have a sink. Yeah. Yeah, so this is normally the opposite view of what you would usually see in my video. I usually sit on the opposite side of the table facing that way, and you see the other wall, which, well, honestly, it's not finished yet either, but there's cabinets that block the view, so was the best I could do for now. Yeah, today is Friday. It's Good Friday, so happy Easter. April the 8th, I believe that's what it makes it. 7th. April the 7th, yeah. And yeah, it's been about 4 weeks since my last update, so I have a lot of stitching to show you, but not as many projects got work done as I think I would normally have in that span of time, if that makes sense. I was focusing for a while on the stitching shelf because I had discovered my shortfall in the stitch count according to if we stitched 100 stitches a day, where should I be by now? I haven't looked at that lately, and I know I'm falling behind again because, you know, I'm not stitching on it currently. But I did get a lot of progress on that, so you'll see that, and you'll see some that I am very happy with the progress. I haven't picked it up for a while and got lots done. So I'm just going to start at the top of the pile here. And this is Blitzen, which is a Nora Corbett Christmas Eve Courier. And that's what it'll look like when it's finished. You'll have to forgive the lighting. I just wanted to show off my kitchen. But there's two windows, one behind me and one on this side, so it's very bright. And really this is the only angle I could have the kitchen as backdrop because the entry is in the other direction. So yeah. Blitzen. Here's where it was when you last saw it. This is being stitched on 32 count Nocturne Belfast linen by Picture This Plus. And here it is now. And I'm hoping the light will adjust so you can get a good view. So there are beads started, and he has a tail. She has a tail. Now, I did start with the green beads, and there is an issue with Magnificas, and this particular series does use a lot of Magnificas, so I'm hunting for them, and I'm going to have to substitute Delicas in some of the last ones, so we'll see how that goes. But here it is now, and there's, actually you can see, there's the beads that are already done. So there's more beads and more charms to go on, but this is getting very close to being finished. And I haven't picked it up really regularly, but I try, you know, like maybe once every 2 weeks I pick it up. They are so close to being finished. So, yeah. And this next one is, I'm stitching this in the season opposite of where I am. I'm in North America, so it's winter. No, it's not winter, it's spring here. Spring officially started March 21st or 22nd, somewhere around there. And so it was time for me to switch seasons on my seasonal stitch, which is Dressmaker's Daughter by Mirabilia. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And it's still in the Q-snap because I'm on a roll with this. And I worked on this one, I think, 4 days. It might be longer. I think I started it on the 1st. I did start it on the 1st, so 6 days. I haven't stitched on it today. So here's where it's at. And this is being stitched on 32 count something Belfast linen by XJudeDesigns. I always think I have it and then I forget it when I turn the camera on. Lavender Mist? Sweet Lavender. Sweet Lavender, Belfast linen, 32 count. And this is the autumn part. Summer is just about finished. There's some back stitching left to do on summer, but I moved over to autumn. And the bottom of autumn was already finished from the last time I worked on it. And so I've worked from about here up. So yeah, it's looking good. I know that Yurgita from Coffee and Cross Stitch with Yurgita, she used to be Magic Pond Crafts, and she's working on this as well. She's beading as she goes, so she's way ahead of me. But yeah, we're getting there. I think this one is very definitely going to be possibly finished this year. Very definitely, possibly. Yeah. There's a good chance this will be finished with beads and everything the end of this year. Of course, that means that I have to buy all the beads. I did purchase some of the beads way back when. But let me tell you, that's not all of them. So, yeah. I don't think there's very many Magnificas in that one. It doesn't look like it anyways. I need to find a good place to put these. I'm not used to this spot. Okay. Stuff back in the bag. Okay. This one I only worked on for a couple of days. I believe it was for a prompt in the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge group. And I can't remember the prompt. Let me see. I think I have it written down. No. But it just may be because I work on it every second Sunday, and I might not have filmed last time it was the second Sunday. I think that's what it was. Because yeah, we're at second Sunday again. This is Simplicity, Vintage Simplicity by Dimensions. Here's what it looks like. I'm stitching this along with Kim from Stitch and Stuff. And I started in the middle with the blue dress. I had made a mistake with that shoe. I had stitched it in blue because the symbols are similar on the chart. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. Of course, the sun's going to go down. Well, not down, but behind a cloud, you know, hide. So I frogged out the shoe, and I finished some more of the leg here and started some backstitch. Looks really good. I don't think that this one is going to be nearly as dimension as Dimensions kits usually are. So far it's been mostly just 2 strands. I did switch out the fabric. Instead of the 14 count Aida that came with it, I have 28 count even weave, which I believe is Monaco, because I had a lot of Monaco in my stash. And this project bag was a gift from Kim. Thank you. This is made by Serena Stitching. Just the perfect bag for this. And I will be working on that again Sunday, because it'll be second Sunday. So now into the bigger projects. I've got 4 big projects. I didn't bring one of them over here, but I'll get that when we get to it. So this next one I'm going to show you, it's pretty exciting. Oh, we got a little tiny project there too. It is Les Belles Lettres de Gigi T. And yep, there's a couple layers of plastic in the way, so you'd think that would be why you can't see it, but nope. You can't see it because it's tone on tone. Oh, there, you can almost see it there. I'm sure in person this model was beautiful, but the pictures are very faint. I'm not even sure if this is actually stitched or just a, oh, what do you call it, computer generated model. But anyways, I'm stitching mine on 35 count, I believe, Edinburgh linen that I dyed myself. Here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. I have finished the center, the biggest letter in there, I believe. This is the very middle of the project. This was finished, and this was mostly finished, if not already finished. Yeah, I may have had to put a couple of stitches down here, but only part of this line was finished. So yeah, I did all of this. When I was down here, I did have to frog this at one point, but it's fixed and everything is where it's supposed to be. And that's a pretty good representation of the color. It's like Pepto-Bismol pink, but it's just not quite as saturated as Pepto. But it's very pink. I refer to this as my sexy sampler, black and pink. Gail from Gail's Golden Needle also has a sexy sampler. You should go check it out. Okay, next in the pile. Well, we'll go with this one. This is my Chatelaine. I started this way too long ago, 2018, and I'm still plugging away. Now, I do have a plan to try and get a certain, not exactly a certain number of stitches, but a certain section completed in a month. I've kind of have it broken down to, well, I'll show you. Like this corner here would be 3 months worth. The outer would be 1, then the inner would be 2, and then the fill-in would be 3. That kind of thing. Am I on track? Not exactly. Here's where it was when you last saw it. Still have a needle threaded, so. Okay. Still in the Q-snap, because it's in the good area that I was working on. And here's where it's at now. So since last time, this would be new, this would be new, this is filled in. This may have been only partly done. One of the reasons why I had to stop is because working in these middle sections, one of the main colors is this green, which is an NPI. And the pattern called for 2 skeins of it, and that's what I ordered when I bought the pattern. But I'm almost out of the thread, so I had to place an order. I now have the threads, so I can continue going. In this section here is going to be a bunch of Jessica stitches, and Jessica stitches here, and Smyrna's and Algerian eyelets will fill in this area here. So this one will mirror this one. And that's where it's at now. So I will be picking this up again soon. So many things I plan to pick up soon, so I can't make any promises. There's no definite plan for that, no immediate. The next one that I have to share is the stitching shelf. This is my Heaven and Earth Designs artwork by Amy Stewart. I'm going to put in a picture of what it's going to look like here, and where I was when you last saw it here. I set up very quickly for this video, so I don't have numbers to where I was the last time I showed it compared to this time. But I know I was a little behind on my, if I stitched 100 stitches a day, kind of, goal, then I would be this far. I believe I caught up to that, but have since fallen behind. I'm stitching this along with Carolyn Zuck from Seasick Stitch and Kim from Stitch and Stuff, but I appear to be stitching alone. So here's where I'm at. Now I am just teasing. I know I do really enjoy stitching on these big projects, so I work on it a lot more. So this is the area that I was focusing on, and once I got this filled in, I started stitching in the parked threads, because I'm not a big fan of parked threads. I love it. It's I love just going so far and then leaving the thread there, but I don't like having to work among it, like over here, having to move these around to get in here and stitch. So I do try to, once I have the area I'm working on done, I try to finish those off as far as they can go and then keep going. So this is where it is now. I don't have the numbers here for you. If I remember, I will put them on the screen. This is 2 strands over 1 on 25 count. Evenweave Lugana, off-white or antique white. I'm not sure. It's full coverage, so I didn't really care about the background color. And I started mine in the center, which it's actually off by about 15 stitches because I started the pattern in Pattern Keeper on a page break instead of the center mark. So it's off by about probably an inch. That's where we're at. Okay, this next one I'm going to show you is just a little one, and then I'm going to go get the next, the big one. This is one that I bought with a gift certificate from a friend, a dear viewer who I really, really appreciate. And this is a piece by the Drawn Thread scissor tag. I'm using floss and fabric from Stash. I might have to backstitch the birds just a little bit, and I need to put my initials on there, and then I might do another set because I really hate to waste this fabric, and I would rather stitch on it while it's still one piece than a little strip. Although honestly, a little strip like that wouldn't be that bad to work on. So this might be assembled the next time you visit me. So now I'm going to pause the video and go and get my other big project. Okay, I'm back. So this is Inner Depths by Chris Ortega, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Also stitched 2/1 on 25 count antique white. I do have it written down here. Antique white Lugana. It's the same piece of fabric. Stitching shelf is on. So here's where it was. Here's what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. And here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. So I've been going across in my typewriter method, and so picked up a color and filled in as much as I could go with, and then just kept coming across, filling in 10 high all the way across, just, you know, like here's where I am now, so I'm going to fill this in and go wherever that thread goes. Yeah. This is a very dark piece compared to a stitching shelf, but I'm loving both of them. They both have their pros and cons. This one is like 47 colors and the other one is a lot more, 100 and something colors. So yeah. If you hear that low growling, that's Gidget. The neighbor's outside, so he's yelling at his dog, so she's growling at him. Gidget, come here. Come here. What's going on? Come on, one up. One up. There she is. This is the very active dog. She's very beautiful, very sleek. Yeah. But all dogs have stinky breath. Are you going to show off your flat teeth? Hey? Are you? And the other dog, Khaleesi, is resting on the throne. She's been a bit better. Her infection has gone away. We're back on the prednisone and leflunomide for her RA. And it's still hard to watch her some days. She struggles on her off-med days. She's on those for every other day, so yeah. And she's also losing her eyesight. That's really tough to watch because she's literally bumping into corners, bumping into walls, bumping into cabinets. Yeah, I think it's also hard when there's, well, it's definitely hard when there's construction going on because things are being moved all the time. The table got moved into the living room, then it came back. There's trim missing with some nails sticking out, so there's a garbage can right in front of that because it's right at her eye level, so don't really need to deal with that kind of an issue. She has an appointment on Saturday with the vet. So, yeah, I'll go get her. Here she is. She's got a little bit of bedhead. Hey. Hi. She definitely needs a trim. I have so much specialty fibers in my projects because she likes to lay in my chair. She sheds like crazy. What are we doing? Hey? I did end up getting her a sling so that we can go for walks, and when she's tired out, she can just take a ride in the sling. But she doesn't really enjoy the sling. Yeah, you want to go back to your bed? I'm going to put you on the floor first. You need to stretch. So whenever you hear nails on the floor, that's generally Khaleesi. Gidget's nails, because she's so active, she doesn't really have the clickety-clack that Khaleesi does. And she just laid down on the floor. So much for stretching. Okay, so I do have haul. Got a little bit sidetracked there. And I have an FFO. That's right. A fully finished object. And just in time for Easter. This is, it was my lunch project. I stitched on it when I made myself take a break at work. And this is just Nan's 3 Violet Humbug. And it's stitched as a rectangle. And then you stitch it together in this awkward kind of shape. So I'm trying to find the seam here. There's the seam. So the short ends of the rectangle get stitched together, and then you stitch, just fold it in half and stitch it side to side, and then match the seam with the center and pinch it after it's got its fiber fill in it, and then sew that shut just along the back stitch lines. It's just joining just like you would with a biscornu. If you've made a biscornu, a humbug is very easy, similar. So there it is, just in time for Easter. So now I have to find another lunchtime project. Haul. Where did it go? Okay. I got, it's not really a lot, it's just replenishing supplies, but I did pick up Stitch All the Things. I'm going to do the strawberry. And I had bought this when I was buying some DMC that I needed. And I also picked up, so there's some DMC that I don't have put with the project because I don't know what project they belong with. Oh, here's the, that's all I have left for the Royal Tudor Mandalas green. So there's the replacement. Got some needles and the Sulky thread pack for hands-on design Christmas something. And I didn't get it because I wanted the Christmas pattern. I got it because I wanted the colors of Sulky to substitute into other projects and try them out. I have another one of these packs, and I believe this was on sale, so that's why I grabbed it. Now I am gonna ask I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so I had to go get some because I'm gonna ask a favor, an opinion. One of the items that I ordered was something that I knew was going to be risky. I was running low on Cranberry by Gentle Arts, and this project I'm halfway through, and It's not very significant in the project. This is for Beautitudes. I'll insert a picture here. But the difference in the dye lot for these two colors is quite significant. So I'm going to need an opinion. So this is the one that I've been using and that I have left. And this is what I've ordered and what came in. I ordered 3 skeins because I thought that should be more than enough to finish it. But as you can see, it's quite a bit lighter. This one here does have darker bits to it, so I can probably get away with using that one. So my dilemma is, do I try to dye my own? Do I take some DMC of a similar color to this and add some extra dye? And I don't know if I have a color that would work as far as dye. I should have looked up some DMC equivalents for you, but I mean, you can even tell by the cards how different, far apart they are as far as manufacturing. So yeah, I've got quite a bit to do on Beautitudes, and this here will not be enough. I may even be able to get away with maybe finding a DMC close to this and blending it with this. What do you think? Yeah. So this is the project. This is the project I'm working on, and it's in the border all the way around. It's also in some parts of the pattern for highlights, most of which I think I've already done. There's this bit here, and then these 2 patterns aside on the encompassing heaven. So yeah, I think if I go with the color that I got, it's going to be noticeable, because I'm done the middle part of it working on Blessed, which you can't tell from this picture, but I'm pretty sure the red is in the lettering as well for Blessed. Anyways, so that yeah, I got the thread, and the thread might not be able to use it, but we'll see. It's much like that Sulky number 1169, but it didn't start with Sulky, so that might be a bit too different. When I ordered, there was 2 separate orders with 123. One of them was to get the NPI silk, and they had the vintage trim, vintage ruler trim in stock for the for this, stitch all the things. That trim there. So it was available, so I went ahead and grabbed it. And that, I believe, is all the haul. So, plans. I did make plans. Do I stick to them? Not very well. I intend to work on simplicity. That one's pretty much a given. So the monthly magazine challenge group, April, a new month, a new challenge. The theme is library. I try to use magazine pieces for the themes, and I only have 2 magazine pieces. Pageant Kings by Sandra Orton of Design Works, but this was in the Treasures of Needlework premiere issue, Pageant Kings, and Welcome by Teresa Wensler, English Garden Welcome. And for library, the closest that I could come to that, I mean, obviously, a stitching shelf definitely fits library, but it's not a magazine piece. I'm trying to get these pieces done. Pageant Kings was a new start in December, so I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and work on Pageant Kings. Library, how did I make it fit? It's in a book. It's the Bible, library, book. So it works for me. And then the acrostic is shelves. So the words that I am using to fit the acrostic is simplicity, hatter, which I haven't shown, but Hatter by Gecko Rouge, Edinburgh linen, which is what Les Belles Lettres de Gigi is on, L for Les Belles Lettres, V for vintage, simplicity, E for evenweave, and S for stitching shelf. So evenweave could be either or, stitching shelf or inner depths, and I work on those every workday morning and on the weekends. So, and I only mark down 1 day per letter, so that means that, well, Pageant Kings, I marked it for 3 days because it does need some love. But all the rest of them are marked for 1 day. Simplicity is on there twice, so 2 days for that, and stitching shelf technically is on there twice, so 2 days for that, and Les Belles Lettres is on there twice, so 2 days for that. And then Hatter is the oddball that gets the 1 day. So I haven't posted anything on the monthly magazine challenge since, well, about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. I was just, stitching like crazy on this one and loving every minute of it. It can come out of the Q-snap now because I'm done everything I can do in that area. And that's actually a page finish because this here is where the page ends. Let's take this out now that we're talking about it. Oh. Anchor black. Stitch with anchor black on the fabric I dyed myself. Snap. There it is. So this page, the first page, I think there's a little bit more underneath it. But that's, let me try. Try to get a good shot. So yeah, who knows where I'll be working on it the next time I pick it up. Be interesting. I do know I made a mistake over there where the alphabet is. Over here. There's a mistake somewhere. I know that this part is down too low, so I believe I was going to come back and around it and then fit it in, which I've had to do for a couple of little bits on here. So yeah. So this will be pulled out again this month. I think also the one reason that I also picked up Pageant Kings is because it's Easter related. So I made that connection. And yeah, I don't have anything else planned for April. So we'll see. There is something, and I probably should have mentioned it earlier, way earlier, but it is my 6-year Flosstube anniversary. Believe it or not, it's been 6 years on Flosstube. So I will be trying to do something. I think the next video I will do some kind of celebration. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get this edited and uploaded and stitch a lot more. Hopefully it won't be 4 weeks before my next video, and hopefully we'll be in a new location. The craft room is coming along. It is just such a tight space to be doing the work in, and there's really no place else to put the furniture. So that does make it a little difficult. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to go now. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself. Happy stitching. Bye. Hi, Gidget. Shall we show them the kitchen? Shall we? As you can see, there's no floor. That's the subfloor and a carpet to hide it. And here we are in the dining room looking into the kitchen. This is a little breakfast bar that we knocked out a wall and put that in. There were going to be wooden supports underneath that, but I found these copper ones, which I liked so much better. Gives it a lot more character. The new, brand new rock counter. All the way across. copper hardware. A little display cabinet at the end, and lots of counter space. Originally, this kitchen ended right about where the can opener, right about there. That's where the kitchen wall used to be. Actually, even closer than that. And there was only that one counter for the whole space. And it had a giant old ceramic, the kind of, okay, the battery had died, so replaced it. So the sink was a giant cast iron single sink with the dry pan on the side, and that took up most of the counter space, and the cupboards were low. There was only enough space in there to, you can put the toaster underneath it, but you couldn't use the toaster underneath it. Couldn't put the kettle underneath it. Nothing fit underneath there. Couldn't even, when you were drying your plates, the big dinner plate would rest against the cupboard door. So it was not very usable. So we have replaced the upper cabinets as well. We went with white. Yeah. In my old kitchen, I had dark cupboards when we moved in. Didn't like them, changed them to white cabinets. Didn't like the lowers, so went with a mix. That cabinet that cupboard drawer right there, they took back because they had to cut it short for the faucet to work there. And the kick plate will be done when the floor is done. And these are really deep drawers with an extra drawer on top. And then really deep drawers on the bottom. And then, so this is from the other corner looking that way. That's where I was sitting, right there. So that's the breakfast bar. That chair is one that we had before. It's rather large for this space. We do intend to change it out for a couple. We're hoping to get 2 smaller ones to fit in there. It's just the 2 of us right now anyways, so one person can sit there and watch the other one cook, because the stove is right here. And over here we decided to make use of the space by putting in shelves, and I believe my husband is going to put a rail across there and some copper panels that will just slide to hide those. And don't mind the garbage. There's another cabinet beside the stove, which could only be so deep because of the entryway. And this is the back side of the chimney, which we definitely wanted a microwave mounted above because we really enjoy having counter space. So that was a must. And having it hidden behind this corner is perfect. And dishwasher, that still has to be hooked up, but that's not a big deal because I have a sink. Now you do notice that it's a single sink again, which is inconvenient. I have learned that, but it's not as inconvenient when there is a dishwasher. So because of the size of the kitchen and because I wanted a lot of counter space, we went with the extra big sink. Yeah, I do have dishes to do. And cabinets above the fridge and beside the fridge, which were not there before. The fridge, it is a new fridge. All the appliances are new, except for the small ones. The fridge that was there was a small fridge, and so there was room beside the fridge to put in a table, and I guess that's what they must have done before. But, well, I mean, we wanted the counter space and a dishwasher. So we have a dishwasher and lots of counter space. So that's the new kitchen. They are coming back to install the last of the crown molding up here because, you know, carpenters and the people ordering the supplies, they don't always communicate very well. So, yeah, the carpenter said he needed this many linear foot, and the builder supplier was like, but you only need this much, so they shorted him because they don't take into account all the waste used for cuts. We do have the light fixtures. That one's going to be brought lower, and there was one up here too, and it's being modified to come lower. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tour.